What if the biggest mystery of the F1 season has absolutely nothing to do with upgrades, race speed, or tire tactics, and everything to do with what we're not being told? Lewis Hamilton's first season in red was supposed to mean business, but so far, it's making headlines for all the wrong reasons. 0 wins, 0 podiums, and not a murmur of the fairy tale championship challenge fans had dared dream of. Now, even Fernando Alonso is sounding the alarm, and his message, sharper than any lap time could ever be. So let's talk about what's really happening at Ferrari, or at least, what's being talked about in hushed tones behind those iconic red garage doors. When Hamilton joined Ferrari, the Hollywood blockbuster was waiting to be made, a 7-time world champion nearing the twilight of his career, linking up with the most legendary team in F1, a quest for that 8th elusive title. But 10 Grand Prix in, that script has been flipped completely on its head. So far, the dividends? 1 sprint win in China and a 4th at Imola. Good, maybe. Legendary? Not even close. He's been consistently outbeaten by his teammate, Charles Leclerc, a driver who now holds the upper hand in every major department: qualifying, racecraft, championship points. And whenever Lewis does speak up, it's never about setups or annoying Sundays. It's cryptic, it's loaded, it's guarded. There's a lot of things that need to change in the system. I wish I could tell you what's happening. There's a lot that's happening behind the scenes. That's not an exasperated driver bemoaning understeer or tire graining. That's someone hinting at something much deeper. Structural problems, internal politics, technical dysfunction, a cultural mismatch. And the worst part? Nobody outside of the team really knows. And that uncertainty haze? That's what's setting off the alarm bells. If anyone understands the pressure cooker that is Ferrari, it's Fernando Alonso. He came tantalizingly close to a title with the Scuderia more than a decade ago. He understands the chaos, he understands the glare, and he understands the agony of coming so close, only to fall short. Even he's baffled at Hamilton's struggles. What is wrong with him? I don't know, Alonso admitted. It's difficult to give an opinion when you don't know all the information. But Alonso has seen what others are just starting to join the dots on. Hamilton's Ferrari woes have an eerie similarity to his final few years at Mercedes. There, it was George Russell outperforming him on a consistent basis. Now, it's Leclerc. Same pattern, new team, new colors. The Mercedes was difficult to drive last year, and Russell was more comfortable, Alonso noted. This year? Same seems to be. The implication is subtle but clear. If the car isn't suited to Hamilton, and if his voice is being muted behind closed doors, then maybe the problem isn't Hamilton after all. But even Alonso doesn't go quite that far as to draw definitive conclusions, because just like the rest of us, he's on the outside, looking in. Now here's where it gets really real. What if I told you the man at the helm of Ferrari's F1 operation is walking a tightrope, and that each step he takes in the next 3 races could decide his fate? Behind closed doors, pressure is mounting. The Ferrari board is watching closely, and Fred Vasseur knows it. But here's the twist. He's not backing down. He's asking for just one thing: time. When Vasseur took the reins of Ferrari's F1 project in early 2023, the mission was clear: bring order, create consistency, chase victories, and to his credit, he made visible progress, even delivering race wins in a Red Bull-dominated season. But fast forward to 2025, and it's a very different picture. For all it landed the largest name in motorsport, the team has struggled out of the blocks. The hype, gone, the podiums, out of reach, and the constructors' battle reduced to a 3-way scrap for third. Now Vasseur's job is on the line. One explosive Italian report has him being given a strict ultimatum: 3 races, Canada, Austria, and Silverstone, to save his job. And if you believed that was serious, it gets spicier. Ferrari already made an offer to Christian Horner. The Red Bull team principal said no. Now, attentions are turning to Antonello Coletta, the guy who's currently ruling the WEC with Ferrari's 499P. But Vasseur isn't on the back foot. He's shooting back. Amid the media storm, his message to Sky Italia was clear, direct, and ice cold. Journalists don't decide who gets replaced. He said this kind of talk just throws the whole team into the mud. He insists that his own position isn't the issue, the team's environment and performance are, while there's talk that Ferrari might simply let his contract expire at the end of the year. He isn't panicking. We have time. Vassar shrugged. There's time. Even Formula One CEO and former Ferrari team boss Stefano Domenicali felt compelled to step in, speaking to Leip. Dominic gave a rare public endorsement. He is doing a great job. I told him personally, and I'll say it here. I believe in him. His advice: tune out the noise and keep building. But time, that one thing Vassar says he has, is running out fast in Formula One. Ferrari has dropped to third in the standings. Mercedes is charging. Red Bull remains in the mix, and the pressure from the boardroom is only getting louder. Can Vassar survive the firestorm and finish what he started? What if I told you the most explosive radio message from the Canadian Grand Prix never made it to TV, and it could totally flip how we see the clash that took Lando Norris out of the race? This wasn't just a racing incident. This was two teammates, title contenders, and one brutal moment that's already sent shockwaves through McLaren. And now even Red Bull is getting pulled into the drama as Norris and Piastri thundered down the main straight lane in the Canadian GP. Contact between the McLaren duo sent Norris flying into the wall and out of the race. Viewers saw the crash, they saw Norris take the blame, and they saw the post-race hug. But here's what they didn't hear on broadcast. Red Bull's race engineer Gian Piero Lambiase was quick on the radio to Max Verstappen, and he didn't blame Norris. Piastri put Norris onto the grass and into the wall. Lambas told Verstappen moments after the incident. His tone was clear in real time. It sounded like Piastri was the one at fault. That's a very different take from what Verstappen himself said later, and from the consensus that formed publicly backstage. Norris took full responsibility, calling it stupid and apologizing to his team. But the fact that even within Red Bull there was a moment of uncertainty, that's the twist no one saw coming just when you thought the Norris pass drama was cooling off. The Verstappen-Russell rivalry was heating back up. Verstappen and Russell had their own tense subplot in Canada, a moment behind the safety car, where Max briefly overtook Russell, and Russell immediately radioed it in. Max, not missing a beat, fired back, calling out Russell for dropping too far behind the safety car. Both drivers knew exactly what was at stake. Verstappen was on the edge of a race ban, and Russell's cheeky comment post-qualifying, "I've got a few more points on my license to play with now," feels a whole lot more strategic. Red Bull filed a formal protest, accused Russell of erratic driving, accused him of dropping more than the permitted 10 car lengths, accused him basically of setting a trap. The stewards didn't agree. Russell kept his win, but the fire between Max and George is now back at full flame. Even Jacques Villeneuve, never one to hold back, weighed in on the Piastri-Norris crash. His take: Piastri's move was nasty. Nudging Norris left just enough to cause chaos inside McLaren. There are questions inside Red Bull. There's tension in heading into Austria, Red Bull's home turf.